Got T South Eastern champion Timmy Douglas on your left will be facing up against his nemesis Rob Linehan, the man who beat him 2 years ago in a 2 versus 7 matchup. This is Timmy's home house, and he is elected to go last. Linehan will bowl first. The next ball will be live on lane 11, and we have Dan Castle here to give you the play-by-play. Dan, take it away.
Thank you, Bob. And we're about to start off. The next ball is live. Rob Linehan's bowling on lane 11 here at Alley Cat. And he starts out on the head pin and takes out 7. So Tim is the number 2 seed in the A division this year in the South, and Rob is the number 7 seed.
Oh, just off on that triangle.
And picks up 2, leaves a single pin. It looks like the 4 pin is still standing. And so Rob Linehan, also known as a Roadrunner, starts out with a 10. So today's format's a little bit different than our normal ACST format. The bowlers will be bowling 5 games, 5 boxes at a time, alternating lanes after each half. What's different today is that we're not playing for points, we're playing for total. So it can come down to the wire pretty quickly. The bowler who wins moves on to the next round. The bowler who loses is done for the season. And Linehan picks up a spare in the second box of game 1. So that puts him at 20 plus a ball. So we I'll pull up statistics and we'll talk about that as we go along.
In the bonus, he's on the head pin.
He picks up 9, just misses a strike, and he's left with a 9 pin with a couple pieces of wood in front of it that may or may not be helpful.
Oh!
And they were not helpful.
That was the ladder, Dan.
All that happened to me a couple of times last night, so I know how that feels.
Speaking of last night, both bowlers were in league last night. Rob Linehan threw a 549 in the Millis League, and Timmy Douglas 642 over at Webster Timber Lanes in Abington.
That's throwing down a gauntlet, that's for sure.
Timmy, of course, this year best known for winning the Easter Classic, the 20-stringer.
So Rob's 39 after 3, and he just dropped everything but 4 horsemen left.
Rob Linehan, back in the days before Millis went to synthetic lanes, won Outrun the Bears, both the scratch and I believe he has 3 different Outrun the Bear championships. Everything but the handicap.
Well, he's now left a pin on the deck, so that gives Rob 48 after 4. And Rob should be comfortable with wood lanes that we have here in Kingston. And there's a difference.
Yeah. Look at the pins are they new pins?
They're nice and clean.
They are super clean, yeah. How about that?
Okay,
Heinz 57.
He's on the head pin, but leaves a 5 and a 7 pin. We'll see if the wood on the right helps. Rob makes some interesting shots off of wood sometimes. Oh! He's trying, but he still leaves the pins. He'll be open in box 5. And another 9 box. So Rob will sit down with a 57. And now we get to see the flamethrower, Tim Douglas, who throws one of the fastest balls in the league.
Well, flamethrower is what we've been calling Mike DiGianni. Well, he's actually going by the Tornado.
The Tornado, okay.
The Tornado.
I just started calling him a flamethrower.
It's lowercase f.
Lowercase, all right. It's not a nickname, it's a description.
Yeah. And DiGianni actually won his match against Phil Clough in the first round.
I saw that. So he dropped 7 on the first ball. He was on the 3 pin. He's got the 1, 2, and the 9. Not anymore. Spare in the first for Tim Douglas. Very nicely done.
Mrs. Douglas here. Root him on, as she usually does.
So Tim in ACST this year averaged 120.4. one of the highest averages, one of the top 3 averages in the division. And Linehan had a 113.9. That's a 9 fill for Tim Douglas, so 19 in the first box, and just the 5 pin alone.
He's not kidding. That's lying up there.
Yeah, they replaced the sidewalls. That's what I heard Tim explaining before the match.
And
yeah, but they replaced the
wide to the
sidewalls a couple
left,
years ago.
open in the second.
Just a bit outside.
And not anymore. It's a 10 box, 29 after 2.
Bowlers
They're
so far even box to box.
They're tied after 2. Rob put a mark in the second. Tim put a mark in the first.
28 pins in the next 3 to stay even. Douglas lines up all the way in the back, 15 feet behind the line.
He makes full use of the approach. I don't think he takes 20 steps like Rob does, though.
Let's count him. He's on the linoleum back here.
You can ask Dolly on Tuesday. She taught me how the
2,
ball
3,
was.
4, 5 steps.
Oh!
And
Optic pin, but nothing else.
he did pick up the front pin, but the 9 and the 10 remain. And an attempt to use the wood to pick up a 10, but he doesn't. It's an 8 box, and that gives Tim 37 after 3. Close so far.
You can see your object, shoot it. Usually what I do.
Yeah, as Rob says, if you see your object, shoot it. And I agree, if you don't hit it, it's not all going to go, most likely. That's on the object. That was a loud, fast ball. And
3, 5, and 9, is that back there?
That's a 3, 5, and 9 with a piece of wood behind the 3, it looks like. And he's off to the left.
Okay.
And now he's left with an inverted half Worcester, just the 3 and the 9. Which are so easy to get when all the rack's up there, but when it's them alone, it's a tough shot. And wide to the left for an 8 box.
Turn the camera just a little more. And Tim is all the way back. I don't have him on the.
Okay, so
screen,
with
there
that 8 box, Tim will be at 45 after 4. And off on the 2 pin, takes out most of the left half, and he's left with 2 rows of pins. Just 4 on that first ball. Oh, and that was a great effort. He was right on it, but the 6 and the 10 stayed around. So he'll be open in the 5th. And there's a 10. So at the halfway point in the first game, we are at 57 for Rob Linehan and 55 for Tim Douglas. Do we have a score sheet?
I'll look for you.
It's okay. We got it up there, so we're good. Oh, thank you. Okay, Rob Linehan on lane 12 punches out a half Worcester left.
All right.
And
You need to throw a strike ball when you get that half Worcester lead, but they do go twice as often for spares as a strike would for pros in my studies. About 20% versus a 10 or 11% strike rate for a pro bowler.
And he found a bunny hole. He was going for all 3 and leaves 3, so a 7 box. Give Rob 64 after 6. Rob went quite a bit cross lane on that one, and he went all the way from the left gutter pretty much to the 3 pin and took out just 5 on that ball. Nicely on the head pin that time, but just picked up a couple more. So the remains up there are the 2, the 7, and the 8. Not anymore, and that was a great shot. That's tough to do. That was a tough one. So Rob has a 10 box. It gives him 74 after 7 boxes. Okay, waiting on that. So in point totals this season, Tim ended up with 180 in the win column and 72 in the loss column, and Rob ended up with 121 and 131. So Rob's coming in as a wild card in his 7th position.
Tim put his high score up against Rob in their first meeting when he threw 666.
Oh yeah, we were there for that one.
That's right. All but the 7-pin on the spare bid.
And there we go. That time the wood worked for him. 10 box. He is definitely going to want a mark or two because to give him a better shot with Tim coming up. So 84 after 8. And Rob's on a head pin in the beginning of box 9, but he's left with a split of 3, 8, 9, or no, I'm sorry, 3, 4, 6. 3, 4, 6. So one of the just picks up the 2 on the right. He'll be open in the 9th box. So one of our comments came up, why don't they bowl head to head? That's the choice of the bowlers, but I don't know if we're allowing it in the playoffs right now.
When they were, yeah, and that's only a choice if there's doubles and an announcer,
right,
to make it easier for the people at home to follow it.
And people commentating. Well, we can do it. We're pretty good. We're experienced.
The game is built off the Channel 5 matinee specials, where the bowlers used to bowl. The only difference is these guys bowl 5 at a time, but
they used
you
to
see
bowl
1 at a time. The person, the defending champ, would always be the last one bowling solo, and it's.
Oh, Rob picked it up. He picks up the 3-9, and we'll have a mark in the 10th. That gives him 103 plus his ball. Those shows were quite popular in their time, and I know the Saturday Morning Candlepin was one of the most popular cable shows in New England for a long time, and you're right, that's how they showed it. You got to watch 1 bowler at a time. Okay, on the fill. Rob is in the pocket on the right and has an 8 fill and closes the first string with a 111.
Okay, 2 spares.
2 spares.
Efficient bowling. Okay. He only left 6 pins on the plate.
So very respectable. Made good use of his spares. And Timmy's got a tough leave up there. He's got the 1, 7, 9, 10. With his ball, we see a lot of action, so that's what you've got to do to make this go. You've got to make things really bounce around.
Yeah,
so
can't hit it directly.
Oh, he was just off that head pin by a fraction of an inch.
Jackpot anybody with a little side of wood?
1, 5, 10 or 1, 7, 10, and he leaves it for a 7 box, and so Tim is at 62 after 6. He's down 2 pins in completed boxes.
Okay. So he's left 7 pins on the plate. All right. He's going to need to catch Rob with an extra mark.
First ball just out of the pocket on the left.
Is that the Cleary?
That is a Cleary, is what we call that after Bob Cleary, one of the greats of the game.
The Cleary with wood or without wood?
No wood.
No wood.
Yeah, that was his traditional.
4 horsemen with that 1 pin.
My stats on Cleary's show that it goes about 20% of the time, compared to 36% for the 4 horsemen. So you got to think about it. Leaving the pin in the back means you've got about 50% the chance of making it.
I don't know why I can never get the 4 horsemen at Mills.
Oh, really?
And an 8 box for Tim Douglas.
If I have wood, yes.
And that puts him at 70 after 7, down 4 pins in completed boxes.
All right.
So he's going to want a mark.
How about that?
And that's not what you want to see when you hit the head pin, is a spread eagle. And what are the odds on that, Bob?
1%. It rounds to it anyway.
Well, he's trying to pick up the right now.
Hey, our announcer Greg Gouillard last night made his first spread eagle, and the first spread eagle of the season that I've seen made at the Summer League.
Saw my teammate Dave McNamara make it recently. It's not. Those are shots you remember. They just don't happen very often. So that's an 8 box for Tim for 78 after 8. He's down 6 in completed frames. And oh my goodness. Looked like a strike, but the 2-pin decided to stay up and it wiggled a bit. He's got some wood in front of it that may be helpful.
The score sheet.
Of course, I had.
And he gets the bad wood.
We originally had Douglas versus Waters on the placard at the bottom of the screen.
He goes, I can change the score sheet. I already faced him already.
Douglas faced Waters at the end of the season.
And it's a 9 box for Tim.
All right.
That's very frustrating when you hit the wood right in front of the pin and then it deflects the ball around. So in the comments, we've got a couple of people that are saying who they're going to take in the online betting, so to speak. And I see Kyle is...
Here's one.
There we go.
Beauty of a ball. And
okay, he
shakes,
needs a mark here.
But does not stir.
That's the 8-pin Malone, right? And some funky wood in front of it that may or may not help.
Yeah, use the left piece as a guide. I don't think it's a problem.
And that worked.
Yep.
That's exactly what he did. They're listening, Bob. So that's his second spare of this game. And that gives Timmy a 97 plus this ball. So Rob will start out winning the first string and that'll give him an edge in the total. But again, we're not playing for points in this.
Yep.
Only for total.
That and $2 and he can buy a Coke.
And that's a good fill. That's a 9 fill.
Keeps him right in it. 106.
106.
Normally two for Rob, but today it's 5 pins for Rob on their way to the 5-string total. Both bowlers with a spare. The difference was in the pins left on the deck in that one.
So a 5-pin match, 111 to 106 in the first string. And now we start the second string with Rob Linehan on lane 11. And that was a great ball. And we have the 9-10, but some wood that looks pretty good in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's got wood and a guide.
There it is. Never in doubt.
That was Linehan's third spare.
So it starts off with a spare in the first. And in a fill. He got pretty lucky on that one. That looked like a spread eagle. Right now it's almost as bad, but it's still got more pins as a result for his 6 fill instead of a 4. But he's got the 1, 2, or the 2, 4, 3, 6, and just picks up the 4-pin. So his best bet's to pin out here. Take a 9. And he made a 10.
All right.
10 box. Took that off the wall. It's a nice shot. Puts Linehan at 26 after 2. And on that ball, he's off on a 2-pin. And he's got 4 horsemen plus the 7. That's some wood behind the 1-pin that's kind of brushing up against the 2, but that could deflect the ball to the right, I think. We'll see. And Rob says he doesn't feel that the wood is touching, so he's a little concerned.
Oh boy, it almost.
So he took the 1 and the 3 and the 7, and then the wood came off the wall and took out the 10, so he's just got the 6 left. And there it is, a 10 box, 36 after 3 for Rob Linehan. Counted 6 steps that last time. Usually he's around 5 or so.
It's usually 5-ish, 5.5.
We've been joking all season that the greatest mystery in candlepin bowling is how many steps does Rob Linehan take?
Well, he learned to bowl as a child, and it wasn't so much the steps. Couldn't take those big.
There it is.
Whoa!
First strike of the
Six pin was
match.
the last to fall.
I think Meyer just wasn't accurate counted.
I counted 8 once.
Whatever it is, it works for him pretty well. He's a tough competitor and always fun to watch. Very engaged in the game and with whoever's watching him. So first fill ball. There's a half was to right or left, but he's got another ball to go for the fill. So he's at 46 plus this fill.
All right. Oh my.
And considering he had a 2 punched out in the first, that's not a bad outcome. A 6 fill. And so Rob's at 52 after 4, but he's got a tough 4. Just gets the 1, so 7 box, and Rob finishes with a 59 at the halfway point.
For Linehan on that side.
I love the Halo Jack. I'm sorry. I'm determined to make it tonight.
You're setting that up for somebody to come in and throw it for a bonus money, but unfortunately,
Automatic pin
doesn't
set.
work.
It's tough.
It is.
All right, Tim Douglas comes up.
You're 100% correct.
Well,
that was a good ball.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of people watching, including some people who are in the playoffs. And Tim does not get the spare on that one. He was on the object pin, so he'll be open in the first.
Picked it. The ball was moving right to left too. It just didn't turn.
And a 10 box for Tim Douglas. I got it. And he's got a ball coming back in the channel, so he's going to wait on that.
Dun, 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 dun.
So while we're doing that, I was commenting in the viewers. We have some viewers who are in these A division playoffs who are watching very closely the outcome of this match.
That's right. We mentioned them after this ball.
Tim in box 2.
Oh!
And he's got the 4
Well,
horsemen right, plus a 9 box, or plus a 9 pin. Sorry. I guess I'm a little fried from my drive down here still.
It's a different direction.
Throw goals away.
There's a spare. So Douglas gets his first spare in the second string. Gives him 20 and a ball after 2.
Really, Ryan? I only went 547. Compared to the past 2 weeks, I went 625, 625.
One of the commenters, Chris, I can't pronounce your last name, Winiars.
He's the number 1 seed in the North, Dan.
Okay, I don't know the North bowlers very well, so I bowl in the South.
You're a parochial Millis guy, huh?
Yeah, I'm very parochial, but I guess that maybe next year I'll try to get to know more people.
All right, spare good 9 drop
good
on
9
the
fill. On the fill. And he's in a channel on the right, so he'll be open in box 3. He's 29 after 2. I got the spare. I marked it.
So it was his third of the game, right?
And a 10, so puts Douglas at 39 after 3. So the comment was a couple of the commenters were remarking that, they'll take Rob or they'll take Tim, and Chris came in and said, "I'll take whoever gets the most pins."
All right, well, let's line up the playoffs.
Okay, here we go.
We do have number 1 seed Justin Waters, finished undefeated this season. He's got Lou Gasharna in his first round matchup. He's bowling out of Millis.
Lou or Nardone or me.
Yeah, Justin finished with a remarkable 202 to 50 in the win-loss point column, and win-loss column in the point totals, and averaged 127 for the season.
That's right, comparable to the Academy of 2 team, which did as a team exceeded 200 points. And they're, I guess it's a little different format. I probably shouldn't make that comparison, but 200 is a landmark.
That's
both All right, 7 in the fourth for Douglas. He's at 46.
46 after 4. So he needs another mark to catch Rob in his string.
This is the number 2 versus 7 match. We had Charlie Collins, number 3, is going to be bowling Stephen Botti on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. And Douglas with a good bid.
That was a loud ball. He's got a decent
now-
leave if that
oh,
wood
no,
doesn't mistreat him.
He has issues with that wood. That wood is funny.
Well,
He's going to have to make it collapse or turn into the 4-7.
It's possible. It's in front of both pins, but he doesn't have a lot of margin here. So
He
there it
collapsed
goes.
it.
Yep, perfectly done.
What a shot from Douglas.
So Tim sits down with a spare in the 5th, and that gives him 56 plus the first ball in the 6th box.
If he were to throw an 8 in that fill, we'd have a tie match.
Yep. So Rob comes up for box 6 of game 2. He's left at the first half at 59, and he's on the 2-pin. Looked like a Cleary, but the head pin dropped, and he's got 3+1, some wood that, I don't know, I'm a little worried about that 10 pin.
The wood's going to have to work on the sleeper.
He's got to use it.
Yep.
There was no choice in that one. You had to use the wood.
Yeah, both the 6 and the 10 unmolested in that exchange.
Nicely done 10 bucks. 69 after 6. 9 over par.
Linehan's pinning continues to be his strength. He's left 9 pins on the deck in 15 boxes. 16 now.
Oh, there we go. Some late action.
And it turns sideways, but I think he's got enough wood to bounce around on. You know,
I think that
you
piece.
never know.
I think if he hits that one piece on the right a little high, the piece on the left might deflect it back. Let's see.
Let's see. How about that? The ball does the job.
Yep.
Ball bounced off the wall and caught it right in the middle, in the midsection.
So his
jumped up.
third mark in his string, and that puts him at 79 plus a ball in box 7. Coming into box 8, the first ball will be his fill.
Rob had a bad feeling about that one, but he got away with it.
And he's in the left pocket where he should be as a left-hander, and he only put 6 in the spare, so that puts him at 70 or 85. I'm sorry. Looking at too many things, but he's got the triangle plus the 5 pin.
That's the N in the back, El Nino.
Oh, that's a good description. Put it through, took out the middle pin, and is left with the castle. And takes 2.
Left another pin up.
9 box, 94 after 8. All right, 2 boxes to go in game 2 for Rob. That time he went to the right of the head pin.
The wood slid into a nice position, though. It's between
that's not bad at all,
the
really.
2 and the 4, and has the 5 covered. So it's basically a 1-pinner now, and then you got to hope for the corner.
And he had to hit his object. He missed the object pin.
The 1-pinners only go as often as you are accurate. And at this level, pros tend to be about a 65, 68%.
That's a 10 box for 104 in the 9th box.
Channel 5's average was 72%. Modern pros closer to 67% in my research.
I kind of like it sometimes when I only have a single pin up there because that's all you got to shoot at. And he drops 8 in his first ball, and the 5 and the 10 are left with some hopefully helpful wood.
Guys with averages down around 100 should expect to hit their object closer to 45, 50%, depending on, in that range. this one will have to bounce, and it will.
Yeah.
There you go.
Boing.
Nicely done. Perfect shot for another mark for Rob. That's his 4th mark, 3rd spare with 1 strike.
Liked Rob's body language after that one.
And that's a 114 plus a ball for the 10th box. So, with a decent fill, he'll be over 120. Let's see.
6
Okay.
o'clock.
And that's a 6 fill, and that gives him exactly 120. So after 2 strings, Rob's got a total of 231. So Timmy comes up. He's at 56 plus a ball. He's on a spare. Now he had a spare in a 5th, and so this first ball will be a fill ball.
Just a tad thin.
Yeah, he put that in a pocket, but came in a little. You're right. He's just a little bit thin on it, and it's 6 in a fill, so he closes the first half of 62. Oh, nice bid. Took out 2 more, and he's only left with a 5 and a 7.
Yeah, it's like the little mini, the baby split plus the 5-8 in that leave.
Tried to kick it over and has an 8 box, and that gives him 70 after 6. So in completed boxes, he's only 1 pin ahead of Rob, and Rob's got 2 marks in the remaining 4 boxes. So to get to 120, he needs 50 pins in 4 boxes. To get ahead, he needs 56 pins.
Timmy with a 4-step approach,
That was a powerful ball.
crossed over onto the 1-2 pocket. Candy bar leave in front of the 9 pin.
We've seen the wood. No, you got it. No problem.
It was adjacent. If it wasn't adjacent, that might have been trouble. He said, "Oh no," as he released it.
All right, so that's Tim's 3rd spare of this string, and that puts him at 80 plus a ball.
Same crossover shot. Maybe another 1/4 inch to the left.
It's an 8 fill, gives him 88 after 7, with just a 6 and a 10 left, and some not very attractive wood to me.
Thank you, Cap.
The wood.
Thank you.
The wood denied it. It was, I guess it was in front of the 10 pin, yeah?
Yeah, the cap.
Yeah, there was much margin there.
Yeah, you got the cap.
Rob's telling us that Tim should have probably capped that. It's the only way to hit it.
Slide right over.
Much smaller target, yeah.
9 box for Tim puts him at 92.
Is it 97, I believe?
97?
97.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm reading it wrong.
It's very
97 after 8.
It was-
Yep, and so he's 3 pins ahead of Rob in completed boxes, but there's a 10 and a 16.
I got this falls flat.
Right, they're a little stubborn. Those pins are a little
Another head pin hit,
they're stable.
but
Like when the one came off, like the wood came off the sidewall and just took out the head pin, and I just laid it flat in front of the other 3 pins. I was like,
Oh yeah.
he's going for the wood side.
what a
nice,
shot.
Nice try on that.
You saw that piece that was perpendicular to him, kick left just right of the 4-7. Almost
And an
treated
8
him.
box, so that puts Timmy at 105 to Rob's 104, and now he's up against that spare 6 that Rob had in the 10th box.
That's right. We were talking about the matchups. I think we gotten through 3-6. That was the Collins Botti match, and then the final matchup is going to be Gauthier and Eddie Woodside. Woodside won his division, so he's the home bowler. But Gauthier with the had a great record this season.
Yeah, he did.
Well in like 150 wins. I don't know if you have your.
Yeah, I do. I have the stats here.
Yeah.
Dan Gauthier finished with 142 and 110.
142. It just would have won most divisions with that.
There it is. He needed that.
Oh boy.
And that's a spare in the 10th, matching Rob's spare.
He needs 10 to tie the match.
And at least he can chip away at the lead if he doesn't get a strike.
That's right. Real close.
It's going to be close one way or the other.
But Shu and Eddie Woodside, the Rock as they call him, will be bowling out of Central Park Lanes for that one. And it's an 8.
It's an 8 fill, so Tim Douglas finishes with a 123. That was his 4th mark or 3rd mark? 1, 2, as a 4th mark. Okay, just make sure I write him down because we're keeping track of that. And a 123, and so his total is 229. It's a 2-pin match right now. And remember, as we've said, there's no points awarded for each game here. It's the total after 5 games. So it's only 2 pins right now after 2.
All right, Linehan's back on lane 11. Only counted 4 steps that time.
He crossed over in front of the head pin, came in on the 3, and he's left with a 4 horseman plus a 5. I think that's a little more favorable than the Colery.
Hey!
Oh, there it goes. Delayed action on the wood
pin
that was standing in the gutter.
It was wedged onto the gutter, leaning against the wall, and just broke free in the momentum from breaking that static friction. Anyway, we don't need a physics lesson here. We got a spare.
All right, so Rob put 6 in the fill, 16 in the first box. Oh boy, that was a great shot. That pin on the right got hung up in the gutter, so open in the second. Looked like it was going to come off the wall and take it, but it didn't. And a 10 box for 26 after 2 for Rob Linehan.
How many spares is Rob up to now?
Rob is up to 5 spares and a strike. 6 spares and a strike because he's got one in this game too. I'm only looking at the last game.
Yep. And Douglas is?
Douglas is at 6 spares.
Okay, that's the difference. Wouldn't. Thank you, Dan.
So Rob goes out on a 3-pin, takes out only 3.
It's a half
takes
Worcester
out 4.
plus the 5-pin, I think.
Oh, the scoreboard says 4, but it's really 3. Should correct now. He picked up a couple more. He's got 2 and 2.
No, I guess I don't understand it.
Yeah, that was a little weird. Yeah, it was the 1 and 7 that got taken off.
The 5-pin was already down. It's all right.
Well, 8 box.
You hit both the 1 and the 7 and the 4 and the 10. Good. You never know what comes next.
No, there's a lot of unpredictability here.
34.
34 after 3 for Linehan.
It's Candlepin. It's a great. It's a sportsman version of the 10-pin game. This is the playoffs, and I hope we're getting new viewers for the playoffs. We have a pretty reliable 16,000 people watch our network every month, with 2,000 a day tuning in to Atlantic Candlepin Singles Tour and Pro Series. Spare for Linehan in the 4th. He's at 44 and a ball. This is the playoffs, though. So if you're one of those guys, I wouldn't call them fair weather fans, but I'm that way with the Celtics and the Bruins. I don't watch it in the regular season, but when the playoffs come, this is intense. Linehan in the bonus.
So and that's 8 in a fill, and that gives Linehan 52 after 4. So yeah, I mean these playoff matches are a lot of fun. I covered the match between Dave Edison and Mike Legender in the B division Sunday. That came down to 4 pins at the end.
Oh, good bid on the 6. 7 stands.
That could have gone either way. 4-pin finish.
Oh, no doubt.
That was
last
exciting.
night. He was still sad about that. Still smart.
10 bucks for Rob, 62 half. Fairly consistent here.
5. He's at the half with 293.
Yep. And Tim Douglas comes up for box 1 of game 3. And he's down 2 pins in total.
Right, but if we have any of those fans that don't know about Candlepin, Worcester there, that's a Candlepin only shot.
That is. you hit the 2-pin, and the pin somehow goes through the rest of the rack, and the ball goes the other way, and you take out one, and usually say a bad word.
Yep. Especially if you're in a fill. Tim, of course, thrown in the first box.
And he takes out everything but the 7 and 8. So he had a pretty good effort there to try to get as much as he can. That's why we all have a love-hate relationship with this game. It's great when you're bowling well, and it's frustrating when things like that happen.
Oh,
and he
10.
did everything he could do on that one. He got a 10 box. That's a perfect finish to that box.
Keep track of that. Quarter Worcester to a 10. I don't have stats on how often that happens. Relatively rare, I imagine.
So how often does the ball return get kicked when somebody does that?
Saw quite a lot of that this week.
Box 2. He's had a couple of balls in here that look like there were strikes going down, and that one pin stays up. So.
That pin currently out of play, but it's rolling back. There's a line in there. I think it's 24 inches in front of the head pin.
Something
it's
like
the deadwood line, and someone's got to go back there and check.
I want to go check it.
I can do it.
No.
So what the situation here is that he's got the one piece of wood that may be in front of the deadwood line. As Bob was saying, there's a line about 2 feet in front of the deck back there. If a pin rolls in front of that, and don't hold me to the 2 feet, that I'm not sure what the measurements are for sure. If the pin is in front of that, in other words, in this direction, then it's out of play and you can't use it.
Tim's kind of lucky that that's out of play. I mean,
I think it's in play.
Oh no!
It's in play.
Now it is a defender. The wood is in a position where he's going to have to, especially.
I can see it from here.
Especially with 2 pieces, he's got to bounce. He's got to bounce something off a wall, I think.
Well, this is a guy who can do it.
Yeah. Oh, he did it off the
exactly.
wall. Off the wall. Give him a hand for that one. What a shot for Douglas.
That's a spare in box 2.
40. He is the fastest bowler in the game, along with Keith Beaupre. Both clocked at 46 miles an hour. Didn't bring my gun today, but he's taken a few miles off. He's taken a few miles off this season. He's been throwing 43 and 44.
Well, he's right there. Justin Waters is right in that same range too. There's not too many, but there's a few, and they're in this division. So 6 in the fill, and that gives him 26 at the second box. But a 3-1 split, just picks up 2 of them. So that ties him with Rob in completed frames for this game. It's a very tight match.
By comparison, Linehan throws about 31 miles an hour.
And a field goal, but you don't get any points for that in this game. So an 8 box. And
I'm only like 28.
Yeah, it slows down by the time it hits the
pins.
So both bowlers at 34 after 3 boxes.
Yeah.
When I measured it there.
That makes more sense.
I got my speed gun from a baseball scout. As you can imagine, they don't measure the ball as it hits the catcher's mitt. They measure it as it comes out of the pitcher's hand.
No goes, buddy.
So Tim hits that 2-pin on that one, and he just takes out 4, and he's left with the 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 9.
Oh, there it is!
I told you.
Not anymore. He got them all though.
I told you it
a
still
beautiful
goes.
spare. No wood in the equation. It was
Told you that still
perfectly
goes.
hit, and a spare in the fourth. 44 plus a ball. And he's matching Linehan's spare.
Thanks.
He gets some good action there. Takes out 6 and puts him at 50 after 4, down 2 pins and completed boxes.
Yeah, that
But he's got the 4 horsemen right, makeable spare.
His ball, that would take the last 2.
Almost came back.
He's off the object, takes out everything but the head pin. So he'll be open in the 5th.
Remember, we learned that at this event 2 years ago.
And a 9 box.
We were keeping score, and someone texted me. Danny Finn texted me. He said, "It's only total score in the playoffs, Bob."
So we're at the midpoint of this match, and Linehan is up 62 to 59 in the game, which is added at least temporarily to Rob's total. of 2 pins in a lead to make it 5 pins in a lead.
Been real tight. No one's jumped out into double digits yet, really.
And Rob gets the dreaded half Worcester on the right-hand side.
But
Comes and punches up the 3.
actually got a piece to bounce off the back and take out the 8 pin. So
I see that. Yeah, the 8 pin's gone too.
Whether that's a good thing or not, we'll see. I think that wood's laying across the 5 pin. If he does just that,
right through the hole. The worst thing you can do on that.
Standing. Ouch.
So what are you going to do, Bob? You're going for the head pin, or you're going to go slightly to the left of that?
Well, a league bowler would definitely play on the inside there.
Yeah, I want to get a reasonable number of pins without throwing it through the hole again.
And by the inside, I mean inside the pocket.
Yeah, in the bunch.
Yeah.
So $7 for Rob, and that gives him 69 after 6. Sorry. And again, he's on a 3 pin, but this time he gets a little bit better result.
All right, 1 in 9, 10.
Yeah, it's a toughie. You got to take the head pin off the wall, pretty much.
Turn it exactly sideways at exactly the right angle.
Nope. Yep. A head pin, and then the ball went between the other 2. That's something that you won't see in 10 pin.
Counts as an assist. We're gonna give the goal to the head pin, and you get the assist as the bowler.
$8.
Oh, that's an interesting point by Timmy Douglas. Says he would have played the wood well off to the left. Probably a better chance, with that mishmash. But
yeah, you got a good point because he bouncing around off the wall, and the ball will come off. You got a lot of things coming at those 2 pins that way. This time he's on the 2 pin, so 3 for 3 off the head pin in this half. He's at 77 after 7.
All right, this is. I don't mind the wood where the post is concerned, but it's tough to make it go all the way back. He had to follow it down. That was the head pin, taking the 3, 6, and 10. The wood fell like dominoes.
So spare in the 8th box, or 9th box. Yeah, 8th box. I'm sorry. Gives him 87 plus his ball. And he's in the right-hand pocket, but on a head pin that time. Take out 6, 93 after 8. He's got the check mark left, we call that. Okay, everything but the 7 pin went on that one. Yeah. He was off the object a little bit.
Contacted the 5 pin, then the wood behind the 2 pin, which was the front pin. Flipped it.
Okay, and 9 box for 102 after 9.
So there is reseeding in the ACST by rule. So whoever has the higher seed will play the lowest seed in round 2. Okay. So nobody knows who would. It's not like brackets in the NCAA's that follow through. Linehan looking at the triplet, the eagle wing.
Oh, he's on his object pin, but the 6 pin doesn't fall. He was a little full on the object, I think.
First time he's missed a spare in the 10th.
9 box.
First time he got a 9 in the 10th as well.
But it's his second time to get a 111.
How about that? Let's not make too much of these patterns.
1 1 1 1 1 2 0 1 1 1.
So 342 after 3 for Rob.
Right guy. Yeah, I went 547 last night. Yeah.
111 that's 15 in binary, Dan, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
No, hang on, let me think. 1s, 2s, and 4s. So that'd be 8 or 7.
No.
It'd be 7 in binary.
Well, 8 would be 100.
All
Spare for Linehan.
Now you're taking me back to my engineering school days. I haven't thought about this in a while. Thank you. Spare for Douglas in the 6. That puts him at 69 plus a ball.
Bowling pretty good right now.
That's his third mark in this game.
Oh!
Oh, that's a
Now, I don't know
full
what was
shot.
wrong with that one.
He just came in real straight, real full. I thought
moving.
it looked like a
Ball spinning
possible.
right to left, though. I don't know.
Yeah, so he
All
took
right.
out a 6 in the fill, and that gives him 75 after 6. And he misses to the left. I think he had a good opportunity on that spare. If he could hit the object pin, that might have gone.
All right, Douglas got himself to 15 over with that spare fill, but drops 3, so he's 12 over. Linehan finished 11 over in the game. Game score doesn't really matter, though. It's the total that we're most interested in.
You got to take it a box at a time, a ball at a time. So 82 after 7. He's right now up 5 in the completed boxes, but he's up against the spare.
How about that one? I don't know.
Why is that not a strike?
That's a good shot. Let's just call it a good shot.
You can't throw it much better than that.
Head pin and a split. That's one of the calls I've gotten used to making.
It's a 9 in the 10 with some wood in front of him. And no problem with the wood.
Nice.
He had the cabinet.
So he matches Linehan's 8th box spare. So he's at 92 plus a ball. With the fill, Linehan closed this box with a 93 after 8. Well, he's at 92. It depends on what his fill is.
Wow. And that was...
Wow,
No,
another
fall?
one. Another one, a 9 fill.
They filed these things down. Very stable pin.
101 after 8 with just the 4 pin remaining.
Is it? Rob is standing up on a bench, right, and looking at the line. You can see that it's good.
Oh my goodness!
All right.
Just the wood, misses a single pin. He'll be open in the 9th. And a 9 box for Tim Douglas.
110.
110 after 9. So whatever he does in this next box gives him the opportunity to take the match lead. Okay, 10th box.
Wow, he's been driving those home in the right 1-3 pocket. That was at least 3, not 4 on that side.
Oh yeah, those all look like strikes going down. He's got just 2.
Oh no!
Oh, wow.
He clipped it. He hit the tip, and it spun. It rotated so far over that it actually had spun past the object pin by the time it crossed, and then only hit the second pin in the configuration.
Well, it's
for
a 10 box.
You know? No, he didn't. The wood denied him. I'm trying to explain it. I'm at a loss for words. I know what I saw. It was rare.
Here's where we are now. That 120 game gives Tim Douglas a total of 349 for 3 strings, which puts him 7 pins over Rob Linehan at 342.
Yep.
So the lead has changed.
Our
But
first.
it's still tight. All right, coming into game 4, Rob's on lane 11. Down 7 pins in total. Off on the 3 pin on that one. Just takes out 3.
Rob right at his 114 average.
Nice object pin hit, but it didn't do a lot for him.
That one deserves a curse name as well. When you have the half Western, you punch the 1-8 or the 1-9, depending on what side it is.
That's a good out. He gets 9 on that box. So not a bad outcome.
After a punch, yeah. You needed something.
I'd be happy with that.
That's the only game I would start with spare.
right.
He's been starting and closing with hook and marks.
All right.
All right, so he hits a
5,
head
7,
pin,
10.
and he gets a 5-7-10 as the lead.
Some interesting choices though for Rob. He's got the, depending if he wants to throw a straight ball, then he's got the tip of that piece out in front that can connect to the 5 and 10.
That's probably your best bet, I think.
But his ball moves
Yeah.
left to right, so he's got a different set of variables to play with.
Okay, he was a little too full on that wood.
Yeah,
I think if he got the
It's
end
where
of it,
the
it might have
taper
gone.
starts.
No.
You have to hit it where the taper is, or it won't deflect that way. Yep.
Okay, so now he's got just a 5 and a 10. And they remain in 8 box, 17 after 2. Okay, coming in at box 3 of game 4. Again, he's off the head pin onto the 3, and is left with a 4 horseman left plus a 10 pin.
That's right. So you can sort of see on your screen, but you have to do a little addition in your math. Douglas led by 7 at the beginning of the 4th string.
So Rob just took out the 10 pin. He's got the 4 horseman left. And another 8 box. So 25 after 3. He's under par right now, so he's got to get some marks in here. First ball of box 4, he was off to the left on the 2 pin. And that's an ugly lead. That's the 1, 3, 7, 8, and 10 with no wood to work with. Well, some wood in front of the 10, but it's not going to be material, I don't think. Just picks up the 8.
It's reminiscent of the spare leave that Timmy had to make to win the Easter Classic.
Those are fun when they go. All right, he's going to get a 9 out of that one.
That is pretty good. Let's make sure that
some wood move forward. 34 after 4. Ouch. Ouch. Half Worcester right on a 3 pin.
This ball moves pretty, consistently left to right. It's hard to get the crossover half Worcester like that. And then he almost repeated
you hit
that
the object
punch thing. Yeah. I don't know why it's not. Hitting it with an angle and that kind of spin. Usually you don't see those punches.
Well, a 9 box. So he's pinning well, but has a 43 half. So he's underwater right now.
In game.
All right, here comes Tim.
He's 35 over on the day. Timmy starts 49 over.
First ball.
And he has located the head pin 60 feet in front of that foul pin. There's a head pin about 3 inches wide, and he's found it.
Again, it's one of those balls that look like a strike going down. And that's a spare in the first. He expressed some frustration with that one. That white,
you heard the
but he's happy to get the spare. So.
I'm struggling with single pins like this.
Okay, here we go for box 2. This is a fill ball. That's a strike. That's a strike. That's his first one of the match. And that gives him a 20 box to start with. And now he's at 30 plus the ball. Can't get a better fill than that on a spare. Okay, coming into box 3 on a strike. His first 2 balls of the fill.
Overstep approach for Douglas.
And a first ball net 7. And we're left with a 1, 3, and the 8. Some wood that might help take out that 8. Oh, and he misses the object, but
really
he takes
nice.
some stuff out of the wall.
He's got a strike
Spare on strikes.
He's got a strike sandwich there.
Spare, strike, spare. So 30 after 2. Or no, 40 after 2. I'm sorry. He's at 50 plus a ball right now.
And
And another
one.
strike. Spare, strike, spare, strike. 10 in the fill.
20,
60
20.
after 3. And 70 after 4 plus a fill. 2-ball fill. I've seen him do this a couple of times before.
He has the high score on our network, 194. Of course, at the Worlds. And
Yep.
And
it's going, it's shaking.
There
Oh,
it
look
is.
at it, it's a triple strike.
a double strike.
It's a double.
Yeah,
Oh,
double
I'm
strike.
sorry.
So
Third one in the half, and he's gonna have to sit down. Calm down, Timmy. Calm down, Bob.
right now he's at 80 at the 4th, plus 10, 90 at the 5th, plus several balls in the fill. 2 more balls to fill.
Wow.
One of which will count twice.
Yeah.
So that's a humongous half, possible 100 half. Okay, Rob's under a little pressure here, needs to pick up some marks.
How about that? He hit the pocket, and he got, what is that? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10.
So back 2 rows minus the 9 pin. Play the wood.
Just about hit it. He needed to hit that tip and cause some magic. But instead, by a fraction of an inch, he's still looking at 5 pins with his 3rd ball. Wow.
And 7 box, 50 after 6. Really needs to capitalize on these last 4 boxes.
Don't go looking for justice box to box. Justice comes at the end of the total.
That's right. And you know where to you throw the last ball. Okay, he's off on the 4 pin, takes out 3. Went a little wide to the right and took out a few more. He's left 4 more. So got just the 1, 2, and 5 left for a mini triangle. Yep, and that's what happens a lot of times with that kind of leave. It's a 9 box. He hit it well, but the pins went around the 5 pin and left us standing alone. So 59 after 7 boxes. Box 8 and drops 9. Just the 2 pin.
Yeah.
There we go. Right in the face. First mark of the string. That gives him 69 in a ball after 8. So first ball is a critical fill ball here. All right, he's in on the head pin in the pocket. He drops 7. So that puts him at 76 after 8 with just a triangle to shoot at. And off to the left, just picks up 1. Triangle's been my nemesis lately. You been hitting that one, Bum?
A little less than the pro average of 45%.
And a 10 box that gives him 86
So I am not
after 9.
9.5? 9.5? 9.5.
he's just off to the left on that one. Leaves the 1, 3, 6, and 7. Got to carry something over from the right to the left. Oh, that wasn't too far off. Just takes out the 3-pin. What a shot for a 10. That's a good way to go out of that. 96.
Of course, Tim is going to probably beat him at the half.
Yeah.
In this game.
Well, that's what I was kind of going for.
So Tim threw spare, strike, spare, strike, strike. He's going for the triple right now.
Yeah, he's at 80 plus this ball in the fourth.
90
already,
plus.
And he's got 90 plus. Yeah, he's 90 plus this ball. Okay.
Well, that looked like a strike ball going down. Not too bad. So he's at 86 after 4. So it's 96 plus this 6. So he's at 102 plus another ball.
Is it 96 plus 6 plus 6?
Right, 8 fill.
96 plus 8, so he's at 104.
104 at the half.
Yep.
It's an amazing half. But he'll be open for the first time in this game. And a 9 box for 113 after 6.
There it is.
It's thinking.
Geez.
It's thinking. There it goes.
A late falling 4-pin in the strike.
And that's his
Number
fourth
4.
strike in this game.
Wow.
123 plus 2 balls at box 7. He's on the head pin, bounced it in. 6 on the first
A
ball.
little crossover on that one.
Wow, 9 fill.
That was fantastic looking bid.
So 132 after 7. And a 9 box, 141 after 8 boxes.
Oops. Formula's not right on the total.
On the head pin, takes out 7. He's left with the 3, 5, 6 triangle. And that's gone. That is his 7th mark in this string. And in box 9, he's at 151 plus a ball. And a
Missed
5
that pin
fill.
for the first time in this game.
I think you're right. And still got a respectable fill on that one, because I know if I hit that pin, I would have punched out. And he's going to be open in the 10th. He's at 156 after 9. And a 10 box. So how about a 166 string?
All right.
That's quite a remarkable game.
It had been very close. Till then.
It was a close match. And Tim just threw 515 for 4. And Rob's at 438. So Tim's ahead by a bunch right now.
77.
By 77 pins.
All right, this one triple wood, with 2 pieces laying across.
That looks to me to be the
8 in the back there.
Not bad, not bad at all. Great shot.
Had to hit both pieces of wood, and he did.
That was a great shot for to open with a spare in the 5th. 5th and final game. He wants to keep doing that and hope that Tim's cools down a little bit.
Oh,
on the head pin.
Nothing.
6 fill, 16 after 1.
Too full on the head pin, I guess.
Yeah, a little bit. It's a tough one with his left to right ball. Just picks up the 6 pin. 3 remaining. Oh, 7 box, 23 after 2. Can't afford to leave any pins up right now.
What was the season high this year for ACST? 180.
Well, in the B division, I know Komrowski had a 180.
He had 175, yeah.
Or 177, something like that.
That was against Phil Cluck. I was covering that match. It was 175.
I saw Timmy throw in the 160s of the match we covered. Rob took out 6. And again, off to the right. So open in the 3rd. And an 8 box.
Okay,
31.
It was a 7. Linehan led through the first 3. Douglas took a 7-pin lead after 4
and opened it up
after 3. In the 3rd box, actually. It was in the 3rd box.
Oh, that was a good ball, but a little light on the head pin.
And then a 166 to 96. Thumping.
Oh, come on.
Ouch.
So no spare in the 4th.
He's at 40.
And that one was in the gutter, so it'll be a 9 box. And a 9 box gives him 40. 40 after 4. All right, hoping for a big 5th box. He's in the pocket on the right, but he's left with a 4 and a 10.
10-4.
Oh, ball broke a little too much.
He's been missing just a hair right on a bunch of these shots this last couple games.
He's gone for just a 10 pin, make the prudent pinning choice, and ends up with a 9 box for 49 after 5. Now we get to see Tim again. So far, Tim has bowled a 106, a 123, a 120, and a 166.
Nail in the cover.
Oh boy!
Oh,
Wow.
You know,
Another one that looked like a strike.
We saw that in the 3rd. He started hitting that pocket, and then it was in the 4th that it all connected for him.
oh god, yeah. I knew it was still.
There it is.
It was. This.
I could tell how he was getting frustrated. I knew he was gonna do for a big game, and then I was like, yep.
Yep.
I've seen Tim do that before. He pulls off a big game. Just wails on you.
Yeah.
So he matches Rob's spare in the 1st.
I bowled in the group to the right of him during the Easter Classic, and it was this guy. It was this guy.
And that's a 4 fill for 14, so down 2 pins for the string, but it's a long ways to go for. So he'll be open in a second. And a 10 box, 24 after 2.
You watch that total lead is already 52, meaning that's what Linehan has to get plus what he bowls for the rest of this string. It's you don't want to say it's
Fixed. I gotta stop saying that.
Well, that's some great action for a ball that was well off the head pin. I mean, he's left with just a 1 and a 10 with lots of wood.
That would come through the right side or the left side on the head pin, right? I don't remember.
And another mark for Tim Douglas.
How many is that?
That's 2 for this string. And in total, he's got 6, 10, 13, 15 spares and 4 strikes. So he's at 34 plus this ball. That was on the head pin. So 7 in a fill, and 7 in a fill gives him 41 after 3, but he's got the 4, 6, and 7. Interesting wood.
How about that?
Oh, that was a great bid on that one. The wood didn't take out the 7. And it's a 10 box in box 4 for 51 after 4.
On the corporate outings side. You see the spin on that?
That was a strike.
There was a lot of spin.
No doubt about that.
A little bit
one.
extra right to left spin, crossed over into the left-hand pocket. And how many strikes?
That gives him 5 strikes so far.
All right.
So in the last string, he had spare, strike, strike.
Yep.
And then another one later on.
I know Timmy was the strike leader. He won the strike. Most strikes in the Tuesday Night League at Union Street was none other than Craig Holbrook. I mean, Bobby Whitcomb was injured this year. Or it was really between Holbrook and Tim who was going to win that one.
Bobby Whitcomb, a new Hall of Famer.
That's right, and also back from his injury.
Yep.
Threw in the championships. He came in off the deck, tried to pull Willis Reed through a 379 in the first round of the playoffs.
So a 9 box for Rob, and that gives him 58 after 6.
If you haven't watched this weekend's action on the Candlepin Bowling Network, do yourself a favor, watch it. Especially his match in the semifinals. Greg Griar, we did have the internet system in Central blew out on us.
Oh.
But Greg Griar recorded the final, and he's going to be putting it up this week. So the pristine semifinal will be posted later this week. We were able to put the final up on a recording as well.
That was a great bid by Rob, but it didn't go. Open in the 7th. And a 10 box for 68 after 7.
68. How did I miss that? Okay. 68 after 7. Still trails by 70 in the match, so.
Needs a lot of strikes right now. That's what it boils down to. I haven't done the math, but I know strikes are involved here.
Yep. If it gets 90.
Oh, that looked like a strike ball.
Yep.
That was a strike ball. But
5-7.
Unfortunately, a 5-7
no
split.
wood.
Throw a great ball and you get that result.
No luck.
Not off the wall. Nope. Great try. And 7 pin's a little tough for him with the way his ball goes. So a 9 box 77 after 8.
All right, and that does it. It is now, even if he completes with all strikes, Tim Douglas wins by 1. 61 is the difference. Congratulations.
Even if he doesn't bowl. So 4 horsemen right. Come on, there it is.
All right.
He deserved that one.
This doesn't go straight. It has to have some sort of...
Yeah, that Rob noted that the ball, the ball looked like it would take it out straight, but he had to have a pin come off the opposite wall to come back and take out that 10. So spare in the ninth, 87 plus this ball.
So Tim Douglas will move ahead in the 3 versus 7 matchup today.
Well,
Makes good on it. He needed this. This is a revenge matchup. Linehan took him out in a similar.
There we go. 2 marks in a row for Rob. And he's going to close up with 102 plus this ball.
Linehan ended up winning that one by on the basically down to the last box, and it was a 9-pin drop that Douglas just missed on.
Come on, get some more there.
This time.
All right, so 7 box, or 7 fill, 109 game.
And a
547.
Yep.
I'm doing the math by hand, and you got it up on the screen. What do I know?
Spreadsheets for this, Dan. They're connected to everyone live at home.
I'm just
You
checking
should
your
stick
spreadsheet.
around, see if Douglas can throw another 90 and matches 666 in the first meeting of these two gentlemen.
Well, he's certainly capable.
Linehan, who threw a 549 in that match, threw a 547 today.
Just going around on the deck.
All right, so we're waiting for equipment right here, and all likelihood is Tim will at least be over 600 on this one.
So Waters, Bulls, Gasharna.
Plus a 109, I'm over.
And the other match is going to be Collins versus Bhatti on Saturday morning at 10. That's been scheduled. Douglas is the number 2 seed, so if Waters carries, then he'll play the lower seed. If Gasharna wins, then Douglas would face the higher seed of the two.
So
there it is.
There we go. Now we got a reset, and Tim's going to come up. He's on a strike right now, so he's at 61 plus 2 balls. First 2 balls are the fill.
In other words, if Gasharna wins, Tim would play Gasharna. Otherwise, he's going to play the winner of the Collins Bhatti match.
And off to the right, just takes out 5 in the first ball on a fill. Oh, a little bit. So 7 in a fill, and that closes the half at 68. And open in the 7th, or 6th.
Nice.
And a 7 box, 75 after 6.
That wasn't a bad approach. Usually that pin will flip.
It should have took at least one.
Yeah, it'll flip the head pin, but
Sometimes when they throw it so hard, it doesn't move it the same way.
Us with the lighter ball.
Yeah.
We get the more finesse. I don't know what you call it. Just like one.
Okay, box 8, off on the 2 pin, and has a Cleary right, 4 horsemen plus the 8 pin.
kind of noticing Douglas's grip.
That was interesting.
He holds his thumb way off to the right, and the ball's pretty deep in his near his palm. He releases with
And that again, that would deflected. Yeah, he's got comes back about as far as anybody you see.
But the grip is different. I mean, a lot of guys have the thumb out around in the front of the ball.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the way I grip, and I'm kind of like 180 degrees from the two middle fingers. And a half Worcester left. So Tim is at 84 in completed boxes after 7. Now a punch shot Tim. Happens to me all the time. I'm used to that, Rob.
Douglas to be open in the 8th.
Welcome to my world.
But he has crossed the 600 barrier now. With 5 pins down, he's at 604 plus. He comes here. How about a 9?
$9.
93.
Puts him at 102 after
608 on the day so far.
With me?
Okay. 10
Thanks,
that was a
Kyle.
9. That was a 9. I'm sorry, 93 after 8.
Did Cal pick you?
Oh, no, Ryan. No, Ryan said he goes, he'd throw like he did last night. Yeah, I went 547. What do I do tonight? 547.
Okay, he takes out. He's on the head pin and he leaves what Bob likes to call the banana split.
That's Paul's name for it.
It's Paul's name?
Yeah,
Sorry, Paul.
The 10-pin name is a double pinochle. I'm not sure why it's a double pinochle, so banana split makes as much sense as that.
So if Paul Grant is watching now or in the future on the recording, I apologize, Paul. The first time I heard it was from Bob.
Well, it was on one of those double pinochle banana splitty shots that I did record Tim's 46-mile-an-hour ball. So because you throw a little extra hard because you need to kick it across. Like
so that. 103 after 9 with a $10, and coming up into the very last box of this match.
Tim at 618,
and he's on a 3-pin.
4 and 2. Kind of the Jackie Robinson, I used to call it, but never caught on. Well, 4-2. Yeah, 4 and 2.
So Mike Smith asked me after I called one of his leaves something. He said, "Do you guys have a name for every single leave?" I said, "Well, Bob's working on it."
What are you going to call it?
Wow! What a shot to close out the game.
So 1, 2, 4, 9. But
113.
It doesn't ring. It doesn't have a ring to it. A 113 and
628.
Yep.
And you tell me how many pins, because I'm tired and I'm not going to do
an 81-pin victory. Carries game 4. Rob Linehan, who led after 2, gets the big 166 game from Douglas is the determinant, and he wins this one 628 to 547. Yep.
Rob had a respectable 109 average today, and Tim's was higher. Yep. I didn't do the math on that yet either.
Tim will play either the winner of the Botsy Collins match or Lou Gasharna. If Gasharna can upset number 1 seed Justin Waters. But from Alley Cat Lanes here in Kingston, Massachusetts, I'm Bob Lee. It's Dan Castle. We thank everybody for watching. See you next time.
Thanks for watching.
Pinbowling Network.
And congratulations to the bowlers for having a great season, both of them.